Man, I got to hand it to our president, Tommy Cardone. What a gifted individual. You don't see talent like that very often. Tommy, you outdid yourself is all I can say. Well, hey, look, I want to welcome you to tonight's Zoom. My name's Marty Hale. I've got the privilege and honor of being your host. We've got people coming on from the East Coast to the West Coast, everywhere in between. We've got people literally from other countries, from all over the world. And I couldn't be more excited than to share the next few minutes with you with this opportunity. I'm just going to dive right in. Guys, against all odds, whether you're here for the very first time or you've seen this multiple times, Against All Odds is a company that is fully committed to helping ordinary people achieve extraordinary goals. And what I want to do is, before I get started, I want to share just a little bit about my background and how I was able to win against all the odds. At the age of 4, my oldest sister passed away. About 6 months later, my mother passed away. Well, it didn't take long for my dad to die. And I don't mean physically, but I mean spiritually, emotionally, financially. I mean, you can imagine, right? Single dad raising 7 kids alone. Man, it was rough. Let me tell you, we lost our home. We moved into another home. We ended up losing that home. We moved into a trailer house. We ended up getting evicted out of the trailer house, moved into a 12-foot long camp trailer. And, it wouldn't have been so bad had I not had the 7 brothers and sisters, right? And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, well, it did. I'll never forget, here I am, freshman high school, quarterback of the football team, and I've got one pair of pants to wear. And they're brown. I mean, it just absolutely sucked. It was so embarrassing, and I just knew that once I graduate high school, it just won't be like this anymore. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get an education. I'm going to get a good job. I'm going to get a good career, and I'm not going to live like this anymore. Well, at the age of 21, it was worse. I literally found myself pumping my brakes on my truck to get my truck to stop, filling up the radiator every few days with water because I had a crack about this big and I didn't have the money to repair it, right? I mean, it was bad, guys. I was robbing Peter to pay Paul, using one credit card to pay off another credit card, using a credit card checks to pay my apartment rent. I mean, it was not a good situation. I literally, all the odds seemed like they were just stacked against me. I mean, here I was fresh out of college, and it just seemed like nothing would go right. I just couldn't get a break. One day, true story, one day I'm driving to work. And as I'm coming to a 4-way stop sign in Fort Worth, Texas, I'm listening to a cassette tape, if that dates me. And I'm listening, some of you guys don't even know, cassette tape, what's that? Listening to a cassette tape, and the speaker says, when you come to the crossroad in life, you better get right so that you don't get left. Well, I'm telling you, as I approached that stop sign, I was pumping my brakes to get my truck to stop, and I could see a child's seat in the back of the car in front of me, and there was a child in it. And I just knew that I had one of two choices. I could either run into the bar ditch to miss the child, or I'm going to hit this car in front of me. Well, fortunately, right before I, jerked my wheel to miss it, my brakes caught, and I came to a stop. And it was that moment that this speaker said, when you come to the crossroad in life where you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, you better get right so that you don't get left. And that's where I was. And guys, I took a right, literally, I turned right. I went out on a hill in Southwest Fort Worth, grabbed a Taco Bell bag. You'll hear the story later. And I just started designing, a life. If I could wave a magic wand or throw some pixie dust, what would life be like? I was introduced to this industry and my entire life changed. I became a millionaire over the next few years. And guys, look, I tell you that not to brag, not to impress you, but to impress upon you that you can win against all odds. Because really, if you think about it, the odds are stacked against us all, right? I mean, think about it. The odds of us living over 100 years old is less than 1%. The odds of making over $1 million, less than 1%. The odds of you even being on this opportunity presentation tonight is less than 1%. So I got a question for you. How do you beat the odds? Well, guess what? I'll tell you. The only way you can beat the odds is as a team. It's the only way. I mean, we all know that you can overcome unattainable odds because the odds of you being born are 1 in 400 trillion. Let me put that in perspective for you. Take all the oceans and combine them into one single ocean and throw a life vest out into that ocean. And the odds of a sea turtle finding that life vest, and not only finding the life vest, but sticking its head through the neck, through the hole in that life vest, are the same odds of you. Yeah, I'm talking about you being born. So you see, it is possible, right? But it does require making a choice. And this time it requires making a choice to join the team, a choice to stop being a spectator and become a playmaker, a choice to lay it all on the field, a choice to commit to these 5 non-negotiables, 5 areas where you will not compromise. You will not give in, for they are non-negotiable. In your nutrition, in your fitness, in your finance, your personal development, and your accountability. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, at AAO, you're not just playing for yourself. You're performing for the team. We're all on the same team. And we're going to hold your feet to the fire. You're not going to be allowed to use words anymore like don't or can't or try, because they just give us permission to fail. Think about it. What happens when you try out for a team? You go back to your, high school days or junior high or college, and you ended up making the team. What did you do? You showed up to practice every day, didn't you? You were accountable to those guys or those gals. Well, guys, we're going to do the same thing for you. We're going to push you to be more, to do more, to live more. What would it be worth to you? Really give this question some thought. What would it be worth to you to go from where you are right now, wherever you're sitting across the planet, whatever you're doing, to being able to live the life of your dreams, to be able to live without any limits? You know that people pay thousands of dollars, in fact, tens of thousands of dollars, going to seminars. They hire fitness trainers, life coaches. You know that you can join this team and get that accountability and get that training and get even higher quality information for as little as $49.95. But I'm going to tell you, if you're serious about winning, if you're serious about beating the odds, then I recommend that you join as a qualified influencer for a one-time fee of $397 and $49.95 a month. And you're going to receive a month's supply of active greens, okay, which is packed with 3 very powerful blends: an adaptogen and detox blend, a greens biome matrix blend, and a nitric oxide boost blend. And if I personally could only have one product in my pantry, this would be the product. I mean, guys, nitric oxide won the Nobel Prize in 1998. It improves the immune system, the circulatory system, exercise, muscle performance, erectile dysfunction, helps you manage type 2 diabetes. It's the one solution for everything that you see on your screen, for all of this. But don't take my word for it. Take the before and after test and see for yourself. Look, you also receive your own NFT rewards program with company-wide profit sharing. I mean, think about that for just a moment. And a whole lot more goes along with these NFT rewards. But last but not least, you also receive training from a certified trainer to help you succeed in life and in business. And we're not talking about just any training. We're not talking about just network marketing. We're talking about a training program that multi-billion-dollar companies you're very familiar with, household names, have implemented to millions of people all over the world. And our business model is simple. You only do 2 things. I love this screen. You earn immediate income and then you earn long-term residual. That's it, right? No, you only do 2 things. We gather a handful of customers and we teach others to do the same exact thing. And yes, you can earn immediate income for doing this. Like week 1, you can earn immediate income while building your long-term residual income. So let's take a look at the immediate income. As a qualified influencer, every time you personally sponsor a qualified influencer who signs up on AutoShip, you earn a $75 Fast Start bonus. Now, If you personally sponsor 3 qualified influencers in your first 30 days, you're going to earn a one-time bonus of an extra $225 for a total of $450. So you paid $397, you made $450. Guys, there's no limit to the number of qualified influencers that you can sponsor, nor the amount of fast start bonuses that you can earn. And these fast start bonuses, they're paid out every single week, but it does not stop there. All you're going to do is meet a few simple requirements, and you're going to get promoted to an area influencer. As an area influencer, every time you personally sponsor a qualified influencer who signs up on AutoShip, you earn the $75 fast start bonus plus a $50 leadership bonus for a total of $125. So think about this. As an area influencer, every time you personally sponsor a qualified influencer, you earn 125, 125, 125. Man, my thumbs aren't snapping. I got to dry my fingers. 125. I must have lotion on my fingers. But again, it doesn't stop there. Every qualified influencer that joins your area influencer team, you also earn $50, $50, $50, $50. And guys, this is paid to unlimited levels. I'm going to give you an example here in just a moment. You're going to meet just a few more simple requirements, and you'll get promoted to what we call a regional influencer. And now, as a regional influencer, every time you personally sponsor a qualified influencer who signs up on AutoShip, you're going to earn that $75 fast start bonus, plus the $50 area leadership bonus, plus the regional $50 bonus for a total of $175. So think about it. As a regional influencer, every time you personally sponsor another qualified influencer, you're now making $175. 175. There it goes. 175, 175. I mean, think about it for a minute. What if you personally sponsor 10 people? That's $1,750. But again, it doesn't stop there. Every qualified influencer that joins your regional influencer team, you're going to earn, I mean, think about this, guys. You're going to earn $100, $100, $100, $100, $100. Guys, it's crazy. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you're a regional influencer and you personally sponsor Bob. You earn that $175. But then Bob sponsors Susan. You earn $100. Susan then sponsors Larry. You earn another $100. Larry then sponsors 10 qualified influencers. You don't know Larry. You don't even know his name is Larry. You've never met Larry. You've never seen Larry. But guess what? You're going to cash that check for $1,000, aren't you? Sure you are. Guys, that's paid to unlimited levels. If it grew to 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000 qualified influencers, that's $100 for every single one. It doesn't stop there. You're going to just meet a few more requirements and you're going to get promoted to national influencer. And now as a national influencer, guess what? It's just more money, more money, more money. Works the same exact way. Every time you personally sponsor a new qualified influencer who signs up on AutoShip, you now earn $225, $225, $225. But again, it doesn't stop there. Every qualified influencer that joins your national influencer team, you earn $150 leadership bonus. Again, that's paid to unlimited levels. And then you're going to meet a few more requirements and you get promoted to our top position, called international influencer. And as an international influencer, every time you personally sponsor a new qualified influencer who signs up on AutoShip, you now earn $250, $250, $250, $250. I mean, think about it. You sponsor 10, that's $2,500. You sponsor 2, that's $500. But it doesn't stop there, does it? Because every qualified influencer that joins your international influencer team, you're making $175, $175, $175. You guys, you're going to get in the rhythm of snapping your fingers with this opportunity, I'm telling you. And that's paid to unlimited levels. But guys, here's the power. As an international influencer, and you're getting paid those 250s and those 175s, you're still also getting paid the 150s on the national and the 100s on the regional and the 50s on the air. You're getting paid all of this at the same time and in addition to each one. Look, it doesn't stop there. As a qualified influencer, every qualified influencer that you personally sponsor, you earn a 20% check match on the bonuses that we just now went over. On their leadership bonuses. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you sponsored Bob and he blew the doors off. He passed you up in ranks. He became a national influencer and you're still just a qualified influencer. But Bob became a national. He ends up making $10,000 in leadership bonuses. You're going to get a 20% check match on that. That's $2,000. And this is regardless of your personal rank. So look, you can see there's so many ways that you can earn immediate income with Against All Odds while you build your long-term residual income. Most opportunities take forever to make any real money, not with AAO. So let's talk about your long-term residual income. You're going to earn a percentage each month of your team's orders through 10 levels. As an example, if you just simply go out and you enroll 3 who enroll 3, and you continue that 7 more times, you'd be earning over $300,000 a month in residual income. But I know that's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money. If you ain't ever made it, it's probably not even believable. And that's perfectly okay. Because what if you could only do 10% of that? Honestly, what if you could only do 1% of that? Actually, what if you could do half of 1% of that? That would change most people's lives, right? Well, look, while the immediate income plus the residual income can be life-changing, if you are real serious, and guys, I mean, you got to be serious for this next part. If you're really serious about beating the odds, then I'm going to highly recommend that you become an Influencer Pro. It's a one-time fee of $697, $49 a month. You're going to receive, stay with me, you're going to love this. You receive everything from the qualified influencer package. Plus, you are trained to be a certified trainer. Let me say it again. Plus, you are trained to be a certified trainer, and you get paid training bonuses for training even those that are not on your team. You also get paid for your teammates being trained, whether you do the training or not. Let me repeat these two, because if you catch it, there's no decision to make here. There's no choice. You're going to become an Influencer Pro, even if you don't like to stand on stage or do Zooms or whatever, because when you see the money, it just makes sense. So let me repeat them. As an Influencer Pro, you get paid training bonuses, okay? You get paid training bonuses for training even those that are not on your team. You also get paid for your teammates, your team, your downline, for them being trained, whether you do the training or not. And it works the same way as the leadership bonuses. So as a trainer, you can earn from $40 to $100 for each influencer that you personally train, regardless of whose team they're on. They can be in your cross line. They can be someone you've never met before. You don't know their name. You have no clue who they are, and you get paid to train them. You also get paid training bonuses from $25 to $200 to unlimited levels, again, for trainers on your team getting trained, whether you do the training or not. Guys, it works the same way as the leadership bonuses do. You know, like I said earlier, the odds, man, they're stacked against every man, woman, and child. And they've always been that way. It's just called life and death and everything that happens between these two. You know, success doesn't know what color you are, whether you're white, black, red, brown, yellow. It doesn't know whether you're tall, short, fat, or skinny. It doesn't know how you were raised or how you weren't raised. Success only knows those that beat the odds. Success comes to all colors, all shapes, all sizes, but it only comes to winners. You know, Tom Brady was the backup quarterback for a football team whose record was 0-8. I mean, think about that one for a minute. 0-8. He didn't even run a single play his first year of college because they didn't trust him to touch the football. He was the 199th draft pick, NFL draft pick, guys. But he was determined to win against all odds. And today, Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl wins, and he's considered the greatest quarterback of all time. And man, we could go on. I could tell you about Michael Jordan and Bethany Hamilton and Kobe Bryant, Simone Biles, Ronda Rousey, Babe Ruth, Wilma Rudolph, and so many more. But guess what? It's not just athletes who have to win against all the odds, right? It's almost every business owner, every entrepreneur you or I have ever heard of. I mean, think about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak for a minute, right? I mean, guys, they sold their Volkswagen van and their HP calculator, and together only came up with $1,350. They had no car. Can you imagine you being in this business or any business, and neither you nor your partner has a car to get around in, and yet from that, you build the largest, at one time, the largest company in the world, Apple Computers? The odds were stacked against them. Let me tell you another one. There were 2 teenage boys in Seattle, Washington, that took their bicycles. They came up with an idea to ride their bicycles from one business to another business and deliver packages, to deliver boxes from business to business. They would get their money collected together, and they would meet underneath a bridge, a culvert underneath the road, and divvy up the money that they had made for the day. And of course, their mom, was proud of them, and their dad was telling them, why don't you get a real job like mow some yards or something? Those 2 little teenagers are who created that company, became UPS. Worth, at one point, the market cap was over $190 billion. Look at Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft. Guys, his own mom and dad, you got to think about this. For those of you that are parents, think about this. His own mom and dad thought something was so wrong with him that when he was 12 years old, they took him to a psychiatrist. They freaking pumped chemicals into his veins against his will because they thought he was crazy. And he goes on to build Microsoft. Philip Knight's another one, founder of Nike tennis shoes. We all know how it started. He started selling imported Japanese sneakers out of the back of a station wagon at college track meets. All his peers laughed at him. They gave him a hard time. They painted the car. They banged up the car. They broke the windshield against all odds, right? J.C. Penney's, the owner, the founder, J.C. Penney, same way. He ran out of money, and so he got a second mortgage on his home. He lost his home. He got his kids convinced to take a second mortgage out on their homes to save the company. All of his kids took out second mortgages on their homes to save the company. They all lost their homes. They intervened with their own dad. Can you imagine your kids, here you are, in your 60s, and your kids intervene, kind of like you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, but you're neither one, but you've lost everything because you have a dream to build a department store. Well, they thought he was crazy, but when he died at the age of 92, he had a net worth of $2.2 billion. A net worth. And I could talk about Sarah Blakely and Ray Kroc and Damon John and Rebecca Newman, Fred Smith, Sam Walton, and almost every entrepreneur that you've ever heard of. But guys, it's not just athletes. It's not just entrepreneurs. It is every human that has ever played the game of life has had to fight, has had to beat, has had to win against all odds. So we know the odds are stacked against us. They're all stacked against you. They're stacked against me, but it's possible. You are possible. The question is this: would you rather join this team as a qualified influencer for $397 or become a pro for $697? Now, the choice is yours, but man, make a choice. And I'm going to say something to you. Hey, take it for what it's worth. I hope you know it's meant in the very best way. Look, if $397 or even $697 is a problem and you've been working for the last 4 or 5 years, I don't know what you've been working on, but it isn't working. I mean, right? I mean, think about it. If you don't have $397 or $697 to do this, then you don't have a choice. You got to do something, because if you keep doing what you've been doing, where will you be in the next 4 or 5 years? You know what the word poor actually stands for, right? I know what it stands for. In fact, I've been so poor that I didn't spell it P-O-O-R. I spelled it P-O-O-O-O-O-R because I was poor, right? But poor stands for passing over opportunity repeatedly. Now stamp that on your decision-making filter. Passing over opportunity repeatedly. That's what makes us poor. We see an opportunity and we pass it by. We see another one, we pass it by. We see another. We get presented opportunities almost every month that could drastically change our lives, but we pass over them because our decision-making filter doesn't understand that we have to fight the odds. That's the way life is. You know, you were born for something more than going to work, paying bills, and dying. You were born to overcome. You were born to thrive. You were born to win. And yes, against all those odds, you were created to make the world a better place. I believe it. I really believe that you were born to make the world a better place. But the only way that you're ever going to change the world is to first change your world. And that starts with joining this team. Getting off the bench, get back in the game, go all in, leave it all on the field. I mean, where else are you going to find a team of individuals like those of us with AAO who are willing to believe in you probably more than you believe in you? A team that'll hold you accountable to your own dreams and goals and aspirations. On the other hand, if $397 or $697 is just a drop in the bucket for you, then the last thing you should do is treat it like that. You know, one of my best friends, I'll never forget, Steve Smith. He's no longer with us. He passed away a couple of years ago, but he went from selling chili peppers out of the back of a borrowed station wagon on Highway 71, not even 2 miles from me, selling chili peppers out of the back of a borrowed station wagon, to investing a few $100s in an opportunity like what you're seeing right now, to making over $1 million a month. Now, it took him a few years to get there, to making over $1 million a month in residual income. You know, he always said, if you ain't ever made $1 million a month, you ought to try it. It's a lot of fun. I miss him. I've always said, when you find a way to make the most amount of money, when you find a way to make the most amount of money in the least amount of time, through the path of least resistance, you'll discover the difference between opportunity and success. Let me tell you, you just found the way. I just showed you, I just shared with you the way. But it's up to you to discover the difference. I hope you'll join the team. And if you do, I'd love to be the first to welcome you to the AAO team. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.